Well, dear Emelie and Tomas, although I've travelled all over the world, I've unfortunately not managed to be present on several important events in the Dillenbeck family. I missed my mother's and my wife's deathbeds, Gregory's, Anthony's and Jessica's marriages, and as well as the famous 1990 Dillenbeck get-together here on Dunk Island in Australia, and even now the possibility of being along at your marriage in my still very beloved Lidingö. By the way, Bengt Janse, who comes from Elvik, was always my close friend at the university and in the military. Your decision to now settle down together for good gives me great joy. You have already shared several years together and learned the meaning of true love, yet keeping your own individual lifestyles and thereby building up a marvelous base for a successful lifelong partnership. Both of you can show up a remarkable education. Emelie starting off with her dedicated care for horses and dogs, and now after long academic studies of human body, finishing as a qualified young doctor. I wish only that you were closer to me. For Tomas, I've heard much admiration about your successful engagement in the field of biotechnology. But sadly and admittedly, I do not have the least idea what biotech is. The great surprise for me is, of course, Tomas' decision to take on the Dillenbeck name. As some of you know from the Dillenbeck Saga booklet, I personally was the only child with neither brothers, sisters, nor cousins. My mother, Alice Dillenbeck, had a sister, Genevieve, but she also had no children. And their parents, Emelie's great-grandparents on the Dillenbeck side, were Eleanor and Clark Dillenbeck. And he was a civil engineer specializing in building train bridges, and since long back in Philadelphia, in USA. My father was Leslie Grantham, who was also an only child with a very dominating mother. And formerly I was christened as Leslie Grantham Jr. However, my mother never liked this name, so when her marriage broke up, I was 3 years old, and she changed my name to Juney Dillenbeck Grantham. And for reasons of simplification, I use Dillenbeck in everyday life and only add Grantham occasionally when legally necessary. The more I grew up, the more I missed not having a father or siblings. So very early, my major goal in life was to compensate this by becoming an active father person surrounded by lots of kids. I married in 1947 at the age of, that was 65 years ago, and thanks to my wonderful wife, Gunnel, this dream came true during the following decade, after which we were blessed with 4 strong boys, Gregory, Anthony, Timothy, and Jeffrey. Never did we foresee that the choice of English names would come in so handy later in life when 3 of them moved permanently to Australia. Nevertheless, Anthony seems to get along quite well also in Sweden. I now have 10 grandchildren, 6 girls and 4 boys. I've always been a bit irritated that it did not work out to an even 50-50 split. But now, much to my surprise and joy, Emelie and Tomas have corrected this unbalance, and from here on we will have the desired mixture with Dillenbeck and partner names evenly distributed. Dear bride and bridegroom, from the bottom of my heart, I wish you a long, joyful and interesting life together, successful careers, and above all, some beautiful children. Goodbye, my dears.
That was a great speech. It's going to be hard to beat that. Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a great time. I guess this will be the after party somewhere. This is actually 22 years now since we left Sweden, and it's just amazing how time flies. I think, as Juney said, I would like to be there. Family and probably more business commitments makes it difficult to travel for such an event. I know Linda would like to be there too. She's doing her last year as a veterinary doctor. She's tied up this weekend in duties in Camden, which is south of Sydney. Lara would like to be present, I know that too. She's also have her studies. And Anna will be present. She's probably present now. All I can say is I'm support you in your marriage. I hope you're going to have a great life. Next time you come out, we probably would have moved further north. We're planning to move further north. And you and Tomas and everyone else who wants to come is welcome to visit us. And all the best. All the best. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.